Hello, and welcome to another edition of The One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle.
And oh boy,
that was a fun night.
That was.
Yes, you got to see a very special person last night.
I did.
And we're going to talk about today. So on today's show, we're going to start off recapping the week that was for the Philadelphia Union, but also we're going to do a little mini fashion segment again, look at some of the new merchandise. And then we're going to recap again the 4 points that the Philadelphia Union secured this week. Probably talk a lot more about yesterday than today. I mean,
Wednesday
yeah,
than the DC game.
Yeah,
snooze.
And review the Sons of Ben tailgate and also the brand new Union Yards that popped up across the street. And hey, your buddy Stu was back.
He was.
So we'll talk a little bit about that and a couple more news and notes. But before we get started, what are you wearing today?
Well, I'm sure you're not going to be surprised at my choice of shirt today. So, well, it has the Union logo on the front. Okay, just take my word for it, so I don't have to awkwardly turn around here. But it has Finley and 4 on the back. It is my Stuart Finley t-shirt.
Yes, a classic and personal favorite of yours. And I am wearing one that I was actually going to wear yesterday. So yesterday at the tailgate, I wore the "Come On, You Boys in Blue Collars" t-shirt, and we'll get to that towards the end of the show. But I decided I was going to wear the "Join or Die" t-shirt you got me for Christmas, but decided not to, and glad I didn't. But before we get started, make sure you follow and subscribe and interact with us on Twitter. That's our hashtag is TOTWAG. And then you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and that is at The One Team We Agree On, all one word. And make sure to follow us not only on YouTube, but also we're on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. So you can find our show there, depending on where you listen to your podcast. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk a little bit of fashion. So we got some gear this week.
We did. So at the Sons of Ben tailgate, picked up some new merch. Yep, we got the SOB hat, which I wore part of the time yesterday because, as I do often, you buy merch and I promptly steal it.
Yes.
Because it looked better on me. Let's be real. I'm just kidding. It looks good on you too.
I like this one. It has the SOB on the front, has the emblem, and then the river end on the back. And then underneath, I thought John did an awesome job with this. You know, it turned out great. They got the flag colors on the back. So fits really nice. And would be perfect for summer. Yeah. So really nice. Really nice.
I'm not a big hat wearer, but I like that one.
Very comfortable.
Yeah. I wore that for a while, although it got kind of humid last night. So I decided to not wear a hat once I got into the stadium, just because, it was humid.
And so what else did you get?
Well, actually, I'm wearing something that I picked up on Wednesday at the game against DC. So they were giving out these headbands. Okay. And so you can see it has the Union thing on it. It also has Coors Light logo on it, but thankfully my hair kind of covers it up. There was some discussion that people found it weird that there were kids running around with Coors Light branding on them.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, So the whole thing is the Union dropped Founders, I guess.
Founders is such a better beer, though.
Well, but it's also mass produced now. It's not like it was like 10, 15 years ago. But so now they're going with like Coors and
with water, basically.
So
we're craft beer snobs.
So anyway, so a bit of Union news there if you did not know. And then also,
so I had planned to get this. We got the Soccer for All scarf from the team store. I really like this. I do like the design very much. I've always liked rainbows and things. Despite all the black that I like to wear a lot of times, I do like colorful things. I guess that's evident from my choice of lucky jersey. But hey, I'm an 80s kid. grew up watching Rainbow Bright and all that, and that was my jam. So
yeah. All right, so we got a couple other things here we can share. So the first thing we are going to share is the warm-up kit. And
I'm so awkward looking.
I know. But that is, what were your thoughts on that? Because we've seen sketches and images online, but now seeing it with the players.
Okay, I mean, I like the subtle detail that's in the white part of the shirt. That's nice. I'm not a big fan of wearing white in general. I like the sleeves. The logo with love unites across the front. I mean, the front, it's fun and it's interesting use of, because it shows Beambo on the back. But at the discussion I've heard, as talking to a few people, we like the sleeves and wish the whole jersey was like the sleeves. I'm saying probably if that were the case, I probably would have bought it.
All right. And then a couple other items we reviewed at the store here coming up. Let's see if we can find them here. Yeah, let's look at this one next. All right. And we'll actually select a couple other ones. Let's look at a couple others here. All right, let's share these two.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I like this black shirt, and if you're just listening, it's a black long sleeve shirt. I believe, is that a t-shirt or is that a t-shirt? That's a long sleeve.
Yeah.
And it has the PHL Fight for Philly on it. I like that. Nice and simple.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of like any of the black shirts they put out, usually anyway.
And then stop that. And then also there was one other we wanted to look at here real quick. This one.
Okay, so this color block sweatshirt, I definitely like this one. And I forget how much it costs, but I like it with the light blue and the navy blue and the gray there. So I've seen some people walk around with it and it always looks nice. And yeah, if I were going to buy a sweatshirt, I'd probably get something like that.
Let's see if we have, I think we have one. Oh yeah, we have these two things here I want to review.
Okay, so we have the scarves and what do we have there? Is that socks? What is that? Yeah. So
and the hat.
And the hat. Yeah. So thoughts on the hat?
I like the hat, but it's just very simple black and white with the rainbows on it.
I like the pop of color off the black personally.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like the scarf because I bought it.
I do like the socks.
I like the socks too. They're fun.
They are fun. Right. And close that off. And we already reviewed that. All right. Okay. All right. And sorry there, we're having some. If you guys want to skip ahead, you can skip ahead. We're just going to look at a few more things here.
One of these days I'll teach you how to use iMovie and
yeah, that's kind of
photos. I'm always at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so normally I don't go for like the light colored stuff.
Yeah.
But I actually really like this. I was trying to show off the sleeves, but I didn't quite get that. But if you've seen some of the promotions, they had Jeremy Raffanello and Matt Rael modeling the sweatshirt and the t-shirt from Wild Collective. And I actually like this sweatshirt a lot, and I'm not usually one who likes that color at all, but I actually thought it looked pretty nice. And then of course we've talked at length about that t-shirt, the one that has it's like the concert type t-shirt. And I haven't been the bullet and gotten that yet, but our anniversary's coming up, so just a thought. But yeah, I know Polemy got it. Shout out Polemy. So I mean it looks good.
But still $85. Let's talk about that. There was one, and I have it on there, but it's not a good shot. This is just a simple white shirt that says Phil PHIL on it. And it was $35 for a simple white shirt. Now I get it. There, it's marked up. It is what it is. But I was just like, wow, $35 for that.
Yeah. And I've noticed if you go in the actual team store, a lot of times things are maybe like $5 more or something, but then you would find it online. But sometimes there's things in the team store you can't get online either. So I did not see the Soccer for All scarf online actually. And I mean, maybe I just didn't look well enough, but I didn't see it there. So
anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit of a review. we do have on June 3rd, they're going to do, the Sons of Ben are going to do a fun tie-dye.
Yeah, love doing tie-dye.
And they're going to do that. You can order your t-shirt on there. I think it's like $16 on the Sons.
Yeah, it's like $15, I think. I mean, 16 with fees or whatever, but yeah, you can pre-order a shirt to make sure you have your size.
Yeah.
And then you can pick it up at the tailgate and you get to tie-dye. And, you know, we love tie-dye stuff, both of us do. So
it'll be a fun
I'm
time
down for that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time for good cause, and just be a great afternoon there. So moving along, Wednesday night was nice. I mean, it was a nice, relaxing event.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go too much into it because everybody else has already covered it since our last show. But I mean, say what you want. It was a snooze fest.
I mean, we had a nice time at the unofficial tailgate.
We did. We had fun.
It's a nice new paved lot, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, lot E, where the Sons of Ben tailgate is now paved. It's not all dusty and rocky and muddy and everything. Probably be kind of scorching come August, but it's okay.
I mean, yeah,
it looks nice.
The pregame atmosphere was nice. It was a decent crowd for a Wednesday night.
It really was.
And it was a good time. It just, I mean, that was a game where it was very boring. The Union did not play well. Credit to
we pretty much sleepwalked through that.
Yeah, there was just no urgency, no nothing. And at the end of the game, I mean, criticize where you want. I mean, that just wasn't a good game given everything. Yeah, it's a clean sheet, but even Jim said it best. We probably should have gotten 3 points in that.
I think the biggest thing was the fact that after we scored 6 and 7 on them in the games last year, we're expecting to go out and do that same thing. But I mean, we're not playing a lot of the same players, first of all, and it's just it's a different season, and we're not going to put up a touchdown on them every time as much as we'd love that. And honestly, it felt like, well, I don't know, like when it looked like we scored in like the 3rd minute of the game.
Yeah.
And then that was taken back, of course. That was a bummer. But like when we almost scored there, I was like, oh, all right, here we go. And then, yeah.
I think if we score, that game's a whole different game. But at the same time,
that would give us some energy to keep moving.
At the same time, it was just a weird night. I mean, obviously Jose and Mikel were coming back from their knocks, and it just was one of those nights where it's kind of just disappointing, and you kind of
expected more.
Especially, I mean, credit to Wayne Rooney and what he's doing down there in DC. He's got things turned around, but at the same time, it's like we're a better team. So then you got all of a sudden, it's like, okay, now you got probably a really good team in New England coming into town.
And they're rested.
And yeah, they got some injuries, but at the same time, they've been playing really good soccer. So, kind of started to creep in your mind, oh, well, what's if that was Wednesday, what's Saturday gonna look like? So
I was kind of afraid that our run was gonna end of the home game wins.
But
we were not at the Orlando game.
But it did not. And so we'll talk about that. So let's talk about Saturday. It was a beautiful weather day.
Yeah, it was.
And we got to see some new things. Obviously, we'll share these here in a bit. But overall thoughts on tailgate. Thought it was a great time.
Yeah, great crowd for the tailgate. I know there was a lot of things on Twitter.
I mean,
that about the
Union Yard.
Yeah, but honestly, I thought that we had a great crowd at the Sons of Ben tailgate, and it's a positive thing, I think, for the fan base as a whole to have a lot of options.
Exactly.
And as we were marching in, we were like actually picking up some people from the Union Yards, to march in with us, which was good. But I thought our Sons of Ben tailgate, good time as always. Great to see all people there, and volunteers do a great job as always, and food was good and entertainment and everything, and we had a great time.
It was a great time. I mean, we got to talk to a few people. That I think it was Valerie. I know she watches some other YouTube and Union podcasts, but we got to talk to her a little bit. I had a nice discussion with Renee over at the tailgate, the Union Yard area.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. We chatted with some other people that we had, and like, obviously we chatted with Todd a little bit, and we went over there. But
yeah, and about that,
so
we went over to check out the
yeah,
Union
so let's
Yard.
look at
Yeah.
that.
So it's, if you haven't been over there, it's directly across the street
Yeah.
from the Sons of Ben tailgate.
So what's interesting to me is it's in that old area. Now, apparently the long story from what I've heard from other supporters is that, this area back in here where the garage is eventually going to become a beer garden like area, which sounds cool. And they had like games for kids. They obviously had a Heineken truck. They had some food. They have like a little craft beer area there. And the prices are a little cheaper outside. And then to the left of that stand was a taco stand, and they had a live band going. They had a DJ. I mean, you could tell popping up. Here's a full version of it, of the thing. As you can tell, like it at the beginning, it really wasn't well publicized. Like there was like 2 or 3 people.
I only heard about it the day of the game.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
So this thing's gonna take off. But overall thoughts, I mean, there's a lot of big kids games. There is an opportunity for family atmosphere there.
Yeah.
And like I think it was Jimmy was talking about, this is like phase 1 of like other food trucks, live entertainment, possible bars, restaurants, in the near future. And I think it's awesome for us, for the Sons of Ben at the moment, because here's an opportunity. If you're a first time fan showing up to a match and you're just like, hey, I heard about this junior, let's go. And then you see us over there with our DJ, and everybody's over there. You're like, what's that going on? I mean, maybe that's going to attract some people to maybe come over, join the Sons of Ben, or just like you said, join the march. So I think it's a positive opportunity to get more fans invested, and nothing else. It's a great environment. And I know I saw a concern about, well, we always have DJ and they're gonna have bands and DJs.
Yeah.
You really couldn't. Well, you were saying this.
Like when we were at the Sons of Ben tailgate, we had no problem, hearing the DJ, for our tailgate, and no issues there. And then we walk over to the Union Yards and they had the live band going, and you hear that just fine. And it wasn't disrupted by the DJ across the street either too much. I thought like the noise wasn't that bad. And I mean, I get people's concerns. People have valid concerns about, is this going to take away from the Sons of Ben tailgate? And I honestly don't see it being that way. I think it's just another option for people. And actually, you might get people coming over to that side of the property, be like, oh, what's this? And seeing the Sons of Ben tailgate, and oh, that looks like a good time. I mean, there were definitely way more people at Sons of Ben, but also I feel like Union Yard hasn't really caught on yet either. So honestly, having entertainment and food options outside the stadium, I think it's win-win. Honestly, I think we need stuff around there. When we've been elsewhere, I mean, it was not soccer, but think about when we were in Colorado.
Oh yeah.
And we were at Coors Field and all the things around the stadium to do, and how fun that was. And you didn't need to go home right away after the game. I like the concept of having something to do after the game too.
I mean, we always
hate sitting. Yeah, we like Larimer. We always go there.
But there's something now for the kids and families to do. So we went back after the game. We went to Larimer, and then we went back after the game. One thing I noticed, Larimer wasn't as packed.
Yeah, this is true.
It wasn't as crowded as it normally was. One. Number two, we went over there.
It's still pretty crowded though, but yeah.
But when we went back over to Union Yard, there was a nice crowd, people enjoying themselves. There was a DJ going on. So I think that thing's always going to catch on. The only weird thing with that was, remember when we went in, like we had our beers with us and we walked over.
We went over before the game.
Yeah.
And we had our steel pints,
and we were just like, okay, can we get in here? And the guy was like, yeah, come on in. So we were in there just chatting it up with a couple people. And then we go to leave, we go back over, and I think
it was a different security person.
and he was like, "Yeah, you got a drink here," and I'm like, wait a minute."
And great, we have clearly the black like steel pint Sons of Ben
and he's like,
cups.
"No, I'm sorry, sir, you have to drink that here," and I'm like, "Oh,
We're like, we're
over there," and he's like, "No, you gotta stay in here," and I'm like, "Well, we came from there with this," and there he was like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, you still have to stay here," and I think it was Sully said something like, I think there's some rule you can't go
It's like,
across.
okay, well, don't let us in with outside drinks then.
Yeah, and that was kind of thing. So I think there was like a little miscommunication there, but
yeah, they could probably use some signage, as was said.
But I feel like that's a missed opportunity too, because if you're drinking a pint and you see some friends over there that maybe showed up and they're not not tailgate, or you're gonna leave there, go back. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But again, it's the first time. We'll see.
It just was silly to me considering. I mean, and I get it if it has to do with regulations, whatever. But mind you, there's people over in the parking lot then drinking beers. There's gonna be people marching in with beers, and
it's just it's
I get it with whatever rules they have to follow and whatever, but it just seems silly to me.
Yeah. So then we walked around. Well, funny story. Then we were getting ready for the march, and we went back to the car, and I realized that I left my jersey at home, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So you went back to get in the march, and by the time I had gotten
I'm marching without him because he was in panic because he left his jersey.
But at the same time, then we went over to the they had a dog adoption event, which is really cool. Now we don't have a dog, but we love all dogs. Yeah. And so we went over and checked that out. Went in there. It was
a whole big area with apparently 40 shelter dogs.
Yeah,
and that was adoptable.
Great time, and we took some pictures. We'll post them on our social media.
Several different rescue organizations were there. Lots of different types of dogs. I love the big dogs. I love huskies and German shepherds and
so you posted
Samoyeds and those kind. Yeah, so I did post some on Twitter. I'm gonna put more, but I only put the 4 up because that's all I did for that. But I have lots more, and definitely enjoyed getting to go around and pet the dogs. Yeah. So yes, I love huskies. Unfortunately, because of just how busy we are, and we have 3 cats, but we have he was definitely nice.
I forget the dog's name, but that was definitely a dog. That was the friendliest of those dogs.
He came
up and he was like licking. He was just really friendly dog.
Huskies can be very high energy and escape artists, and they like to sing the song of their people.
Yeah.
So but they're great. I grew up with having dogs. I had a German Shepherd Husky mix growing up, and it was the best dog. Brandy was the best dog. And so, yeah. So
that was nice. And then we went in, and by the time we got in there, we're talking to some people, went got the scarves, it was pretty much match time. They were getting ready to march out. So we went in and went up top, and we're chatting with Billy, and Billy, first thing out of Billy's mouth, "Hey, Stu's here."
And then I was like, what?
So, so Stu was there. Apparently, and then all of a sudden we're like, is he banging the drum? And of course, sure enough, Stu was banging the drum.
And he had said, that he was gonna come back and visit in the summer, and because they're on so, and if you haven't listened to it, it's episode 10. That was a great interview with Stu, and if you haven't heard it, definitely check it out. But he had said he was going to come visit in the summer, and ironically, his last game that he played for us was against New England at home, and we couldn't unfortunately be at that game because we were at our swim team banquet, and that was killing me inside to be missing that game. So, and of course we won that, and Stu was more, he almost had a banger of a goal in that game, and then he got to bang the drum at the end of that game. So it was kind of cool to see. Okay, and then he got to bang the drum to start this game also against New England.
Yeah, it was. So let's talk a little bit about the match. So as worried as we were going into this match, again, I thought, heck, even the first 20 minutes was better than the whole 90 last week. I mean, my takeaway from the game was, outside of a few hiccups here and there, I mean, there was a couple turnovers that led to shots, some really good chances, but again, New England really wasn't the best on the night putting the ball on target. I mean, they had a couple really good opportunities, but Blake made it up, and there was a couple hiccups. I mean, I thought, you know, defense was good. Jose was, you figure out how much you miss
I said during the
Brujo.
game, I'm like, I missed Brujo.
And I'll be honest with you, he did not have a good night. He there were some balls that just kind of, there was one he passed and was like way out of the middle of
He had
nowhere.
some really good moments,
But
and then some that were less than.
And again, you could say, so that was one thing. I think the second thing, I thought the attack really was looking good, but again, they weren't finishing their chances. Either it was Carranza, he had that one in the second half where he shot it high. He and they were playing around with the ball in the box a little bit. Again, it was like, okay, but you kind of were like, wow, like they're actually building up, creating quality chances.
Just like more aggressive.
The goals are going to come. And even that first half, I'm like, there's going to be, if we can keep this scoreless. I kept saying, and shout out to Evan. He was up in our area, and him and I kind of sat there and chatted the entire game. When we shared, like, there was great opportunity, and we tend to forget right now during this kind of where we're struggling to score goals. We didn't hit our now, granted, we had the preseason and all that, but we really didn't hit our stride till July last year when we started really going those goals. And to be fair, I don't know if we're ever going to see that production this year, but it was good to see there was chances. We looked dangerous. We were being aggressive. So that was good. I thought the first goal, I mean, I'm so happy for Daniel to get that first non-PK goal. And
it was a heck of a goal.
It was, and he beats one of the best goalkeepers. And as much as I love Andre this year, I mean, Petrovic is being on another level. There's a couple keepers this year playing. Now, Blake's really coming on as of late, and he had that injury early in the year. So say what you want. I still think Blake's in the top three no matter what. But,
for sure,
you know, Petrovic's up there too. So to put that by him, I thought it was awesome that there was a great ball in that. Ua kind of forces Farrell to take the ball out. You know, they're battling for that breakaway. And then credit to him to just turn around, grab the ball, know that Gazda's coming down, hits him wide open, no one there, and just led the goal.
That was really good.
Great awareness there. And then on the second one, again, nice build up. Ua gets kind of pushed to the corner. And yeah, was it a soft PK? Absolutely. But
it's at the end of the day, it's still a PK.
I find it funny that he could have crossed that ball and maybe it would have gone in, or you take the foul there and he goes down. And so again, he draws a foul, and he's tied now for second in the MLS with 2 awarded penalties, with Ebenezer from what was his, from San Jose. Billy's probably laughing at me right now.
Probably.
But yeah, that's the truth. And then so goes to another PK there again. Their goalkeeper is a great PK taker. I think he was 1 for 2 this year. Guys, that jukes him out. Great goal. And then they brought up a very great stat. Daniel's 13 for 13 right now. That's,
don't jinx him.
I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to say what the record is, but you can go look it up on MLS Communications. I think Optajack posted it, but
yeah, Danny just totally fooled him.
He did. And then so you now up 2-0. There's great energy. I want to take a step back and say I thought Leon Flock, as much as we've been talking about him at the 6, it kind of goes back to what a lot of people were saying in 2-6s. He likes the 2-6. He played like he was playing the game of his life.
He actually had a really good game.
Defensively, he was actually kind of creating chances at times for the players. He looked good. He looked confident. So I gotta say, maybe 2-6s with Jose or whoever, it allows him to be a little bit more aggressive because Jose can clean up. He doesn't have to worry about if he makes an offensive mistake. He just looked more confident, and that was really great to see. But again, Jim alluded to it in Colorado when I was in the presser that, with that formation, while they were going to do it on the road, they can do a lot of different things. And it really wasn't true 5 across because you had Danny, sitting up there at the, at his position at the 8. So I like that. You could put maybe Martinez and Bedoya there. Now, everybody was saying, where's Bedoya? Jim said he was out with like a very low grade knock. He might be back in a game or two. When Jack comes back, you could play them together. I mean, there's a lot of rotation to keeping some of these veterans healthy and getting these guys some playing time. So it's a little creativity. So I thought the back 3 looked good outside of the 3 hiccups. It allows Bizo and Kai to get up more.
Yeah, I was happy to see Lowe in there. Been glad to see more of Damian Lowe.
Really, really like his recovery ability. And I mean, you can say what you want, but I mean, Blake has now 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games. So,
and also not a single shot on goal that he had to.
No.
Revs 0 shots on goal.
Part of that was poor shooting on there, and part of it was excellent defense. So
I thought, Glesnes, Elliott, Lowe all did a great job there.
So I mean, you look at it, this was a game you could say, that was very encouraging. Now again, Carlos Heel goes out, and I think it was like the 15th or 20th minute. He kind of is their big playmaker. He kind of their attack revolves around him. So I mean, that was one of the things. They were missing some other people, but
that's how it goes.
When Veroni came in for them, one of their big off-season acquisitions, he really didn't have a huge factor. He had, I think, one play where he kind of got a little loose, but we jammed him up. So, and then Carranza, I guess the other thing is Donovan learned from his mistake in Colorado.
Yeah.
Played a nice ball. Now, granted, maybe he was a little too far from me. Petrovic could have gotten to it. But it's still a nice finish after some bad finishes there by Jillian. So, at the end of the day, formation adds another layer. You go, okay, that's a nice 5-game stretch. Overall thoughts of the game?
I thought that was the best we've looked all season.
I mean, Jim said it.
Honestly, that, as he said, that was the most complete game we've had. I thought that we did a great job pressing on offense and, creating opportunities.
Yeah.
And I thought that the first goal, the way they threw in quickly and got that ball to Danny and just Danny banks it home, that was just a beautiful setup. And boy, was that beautiful to watch. Also, the sequence with Julian and Chris Donovan. And then that nutmeg just Donovan nutmegs it over to Carranza boots
again, he might, but again, that's where I'm saying maybe that ball needs to be a little bit better. But again, it's a goal is a goal. You take that awareness. He read it right. And credit to Chris Donovan. I know we
so much crap.
Well, but I mean, he's an MLS bench player. I mean, but
he stepped it up when he's been in these couple times. I mean,
he scores that goal in Minnesota. He almost has his goal assist, which way you ever look at it. He gets an assist last night, and then today he comes in and puts up a goal, 2 goals and assists in a U2 game.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him starting the U2 game.
So, I mean, his confidence is back. It's good to see him get some confidence. It's good to see the attack get a little bit more confidence. And then the team as a whole. I mean, all these games, and I talked with Rich at the end of the game there while we were talking to Stu, and we'll talk about that in a second. But how many games have we? I don't even know how many games we've been to. It's been a lot of games this year. As fans, we're kind of like, wow, another game. Well,
yeah, between CCL and Open Cup,
all this stuff. As tired as. And I'm not even tired. It's been great.
Honestly, I love getting to go to all these games.
I do too. But, it is sometimes when you get home, it's like, whoo, that was a long weekend of games. But And as fans, if we're feeling like that, I mean, think about the players. I mean,
Yeah.
all these miles they've had to
Yeah,
travel.
all the away time. I mean,
It is. So, I mean, credit to them to kind of start getting that confidence back, trying to get it going. So, yeah. So at the end of the game, we kind of stuck around a little bit.
yeah. So
And Billy was looking for him, and I were sitting there after we were talking to Rich, because he had gotten the guys,
yeah,
not
Gleston's
guys,
jersey
Glesson's jersey,
from the Allianz or the Atlas game.
Atlas game. And so, we were chatting, he showed me, it was pretty cool. And then so we were looking for him, and lo and behold, who pops up? Well, you were kind of like, is Stu gonna show up? And lo and behold, who pops up? Stu's popping up.
Yeah.
And he was out on the field.
Yeah. So Stu came over towards the river end and was walking around and greeting people. And so we made sure to say hello to Stu and got, shook his hand. And it was said, it was nice to actually, after doing the podcast with him, talk to him, in person there. And so yeah, we got a picture with him.
It was fun because everybody was just like, Stu, can you get a picture? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then we were like, hey, Stu, you're on by. And he came, he's like, oh, hey, guys, and like shook our hand.
Yeah.
And then we're like, yeah, can we get a picture with you, And
Yeah.
so, but thank you, Stu, for
Thanks, Stu, if you're
that was
listening.
cool. And for you, that was a little bit of closure.
Yeah. Well, I was really bummed I wasn't at the last
I
game,
know.
like I said. So, and yeah, but it was nice to have him back. And it's funny, I saw a lot of response on social media, and people are like, bring him back. And I'm like, I'm not the only one, but no.
As Billy and I said when we were sitting there about about to drop, on the night Jim goes, after he bangs the drum, Jim gives him a hug. Billy turns to me and goes, he goes, I wonder if Stu was like, oh, finally you play three in the back. You didn't play three in the back when I was.
It's the bummer because if he would have actually had more
time,
and I don't blame at all. And I mean, you can't say enough good things though, because I mean, it was really selfless how he stayed, those extra games when Jack was out.
Yeah.
So, but I know he would have had more of a role this year, but also, he needs playing time and all that.
I still think at the end of the day, he's going to eventually end up back here at some point. Maybe not in the next couple of years.
If you end up back, we will be very happy. But
so you can close out this 5-game stretch, 13 points. Jim wanted 10 as conservative. Yeah, maybe we left some points on the table against DC, but we got 13 points. Union are in 5th place. And looking forward, we got a whole bunch of games. So how are you feeling about that? Was that a good 5-game stretch?
I think it was. The one disappointment to me was DC that we only had a draw. I was thinking that was going to be 3 points, but we also thought that there was a strong possibility that Colorado could have been a draw. Or the New England one could have been a draw or worse, just because we had less rest.
So I pulled up, and I'll pull this up. This is my screen of everything this year. And as you can see, we kind of look at the last 3, last 5, which was Toronto at Red Bulls. I had that as a loss. So we're a little ahead. Now we look at this next window. We got NYCFC, Charlotte, San Jose, and at San Jose and Orlando. I mean, I have it for myself at, I think, 8 points. I think that's very, I think 8's doable. Again, that's very conservative, but I also think Orlando's kind of up and down. San Jose is going to be a tough one. Let's be honest. And they've been playing good. They lost 2-1 against LAFC the other night.
Yeah.
I mean, these next 3. I mean, NYC, and we'll talk about that real quick. NYCFC, we're going up there.
Yep, at City Field. It's going to be another baseball stadium.
So let's go to a baseball game on Saturday night. So that'll be fun. Going up there with Billy and Lucky Baby.
Yeah, so if you see us, say hi.
So we'll be up there.
Be a good traveling crowd.
Funny thing, NYCFC this year has been interesting team because I mean they still got some very talented players. You know, they have a solid defense. But you know, they lose Sean Johnson. They haven't had a clean sheet in 11 games.
Has Matt Freese even played?
I don't think so. And they've only had they haven't really even had a win in the last 5. So
you think about it, Matt Freese kind of went there to, get playing time, and
now he's sitting on the bench
anyway.
So what does that tell you about Matt Freese? And I love Matt Freese.
Yeah,
maybe it's true. Maybe he's an MLS backup. Maybe that's why we kind of got rid of him, not just because he was playing behind Andre. Maybe it was there's no long-term solution here. I don't know.
And there's a case of go figure. We actually could have used him a bit this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely better than Joe, but Joe's also a savvy vet and has been in the league for a while. So, I mean, take it for what you want there. But, the one thing is NYCFC has not lost at home this year either. So
time to jinx that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But are they really at home? But let's be.
They're at that new stadium. Let's see if that gets.
I mean, good for them for finally getting something going.
I mean, it's gonna be right there. So I mean, it looks like a really cool concept, but I mean,
it's kind of an embarrassment playing in the outfield.
So I guess my question to you is LAFC still are they a rival? Because they don't consider us a rival. I say yes, they are a rival with LAFC. I put them in the LAFC. This is a natural rival. This isn't like, hey, it's rivalry week. We're gonna play DC and Red Bulls. Yeah, I feel like this is more of a organic rivalry because we've had had the
high stakes games.
Yeah,
with LAFC. Yeah,
I think the teams don't like each other. They've been.
I mean, LAFC is gonna hear it when they come to Subaru Park for that game. But we had the CCL game, and that was pretty good. But just wait till it's a regular game when everybody comes.
I'm looking forward to an enjoyable week of. And Billy, if you're listening, you need to get an MLS slander episode going because you don't even have to bring anybody from NYCFC on. Just have an episode because the slander that's going to happen this week between our fan base is always enjoyable when there's two games.
NYCFC, I do see definitely a rivalry there, especially because of the whole COVID game.
Yeah.
How we probably win that if we have our whole team, but it is what it is. At least last year we kind of avenged that a bit. So that was, but anyway, it should be a good game. Anytime a Philadelphia team plays a New York or quote unquote New York team, there's a rivalry there. Anyone along I-95, pretty much their rival.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun game. We'll see. I mean, I'll take a point.
I will take a point, but
but I would love 3. And then we head into a double week with Charlotte and Montreal, 2 teams which Montreal beat us at their place, so we're looking for that. That's gonna be a fun crowd. Montreal's a team I think we can take down, and Charlotte's a team that is hot and cold. So we get them hot, and it could be a tough game. We get them cold, we should take care of them. But we'll see. 2 last things. First thing, this is just a little bit of something that's been coming up all year with Jim. And it kind of goes through everything. We know what it is. I mean, we talked about it, I think, a couple episodes ago about Jim's contract situation with the guy. It was a Chicago episode. Remember, the guy was like, "Will you coach our team?" Again, I'm not going to sit here and say that Jim's definitely in, Jim's definitely out.
Yeah.
What I am going to say is there's a rumor going around where there's smoke, there's fire, that Jesse Marsh, Red Bulls coach, then went to Salzburg, Red Bull Salzburg, or did he go to Leipzig? If anybody knows in the comments, correct me on that. I think maybe he went to Leipzig. Yes, okay. Anyway, Leipzig. There we go.
Ich habe 5 Jahre Deutsch gelernt. So yeah.
And I've been to Germany.
You've been to Germany, and
twice.
Screw you, and I actually.
Yeah. Anywho. that, they have a relationship going back. I believe they played together at Chivas when Jim played in MLS, and Jim was out there, and I think Marsh did as well. I know Marsh did. Then, they've had, their coaching colleagues, so the natural thing is Jesse, if he gets a job, there's no word it would be after the Gold Cup. Will, let me stop sharing this. So at the end of the year, Jim might say, all right, I'm out, no contract, and we move on. I don't know how true that would be. I still think, if it is Jesse, yeah, maybe, but I think the bigger question is not so much what would the Union do if Jim moves on.
Not have the drippiest coach in the league.
I think the question is how much do we trust Ernst?
Yeah.
And again, guys, I'm not even going to try to go conspiracy theory here and say that. It could literally be just in the middle of summer, Jim signs a new contract and everybody's happy. And, maybe it doesn't work out. And just because Jesse gets hired or whoever gets hired doesn't necessarily mean Jim's leaving.
Yeah.
It's just something, keeps kind of popping up. So where there's smoke, there's fire. So how much do you trust Ernst? Because I think at the end of the day, Ernst's got a short list. I know I still have a short list for coaches that if I ever got a head coaching job back, full club, I know who I'm calling. So
I trust Ernst. I put Ernst up there with guys like Howie Roseman. They
exactly.
I mean, once in a while, yeah, they'll have a miss, but for the most part, they are very savvy and do a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's something to keep an eye on, but honestly, I don't want to leave the show on the damper either. No.
Yeah, no. And let's talk about, though, watching the coaches on the sideline yesterday.
Who had the better drafts? Let's talk about that.
Question.
I mean, where are you at with Bruce Arena's getup? I mean,
my God.
Bruce Arena looks like a dude. Like that is literally what he wears around the house, and he goes to the game. Like I've never seen that man. And
he's sitting in whatever that was.
He was in sweatpants and black shirt, like he always is. I mean, that is Bruce Arena for you. That is one of the legends of the United States coaching realm, right there. I mean, take it for what it is. The guy, if you've watched that couple podcasts where they talk about the history of the MLS, I mean, the guy was involved. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, he was a great coach. But I mean, also he is a
little effort though. Come on now. I mean, it's not like Jim shows up in a suit and dress pants,
not anymore,
and all that. But I mean, and you do see some coaches who's at the Montreal coach. He's like all like well dressed and stuff.
I mean, Peter Vermees is like dressed head to toe in like suit and tie, like jacket. Yeah. He's always nice dress. I mean, there's some good coaches.
I mean, Jim will be in like a sweatshirt, Union sweatshirt or whatever, but he's always got nice sneakers. I mean, we all know Jim's got, great shoe game going on. So he was got the Union swag on that then makes us be like, oh, we need to get that. That looks really good. But
speaking of swag, let's end this. So
get me that t-shirt.
No. But so as you guys have followed, we always joke about our lucky jerseys. Yeah. Well, last night I accidentally left my lucky jersey at home.
Wah, wah.
So from NYCFC last July,
when we'd been on that wasn't it June, and it was the end of June, I think, and then we'd been on that string of draws, and
then all the way through, I guess, games technically we've been to, even though I've been on the press box, I haven't worn it. So I guess the question is, but when we've been in the crowd together, we've always worn our extras, our kits.
My Unity jersey, and
yeah. So yours. We missed it last night, so I wore my scarf, but I only had the "Come on, you boys" in blue collars, and the Union won 3-0. So now begs the question, and this is a comment for everybody out there. You can comment on Twitter, and we'll probably post a poll. Is Jillian's jersey the lucky jersey, or was it again just, we didn't do it, and it really is a whole combination, or is it really just hers? So comment below, because maybe it was all along just your jersey.
I mean, and as I was pointing out, yeah, we were wearing our lucky combinations at the MLS Cup in LA. But technically it was a draw, and then we lost on PKs.
And technically, even if that is counted a loss, think about that streak till even now. Like,
I mean,
that's
yeah,
that's a run.
The winning percentage is
so
pretty
maybe at
impressive.
New York, I'll
so.
try another jersey and we'll see what we got, or do we not? I
Mm-hmm.
might comment below. Should I try another jersey, or t-shirt? I don't know. Maybe we'll go on something else.
But I am not changing my jersey.
Well, that's good. So anyway, well, that's all the time we have for today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And again, please, thank you for listening. And if we see you at NYCFC this weekend, please say hi.
Please do.
We love talking, meeting new fans. I think I met like 5 new people this week, so that's awesome. And again, make sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube. We're 1 away from 30 subscribers, so that's cool.
Yes,
just do this for fun, guys. Honestly,
please spread the word too.
Yeah, and we're just having fun. But again, you can follow us on social media. We're pretty much most active on Twitter, so leave a comment, interact with us, and we love hearing for you. So
yeah, just we appreciate those of you who've been listening, and it's just we're having fun.
Yeah, and thank you guys for listening to last week's show. I know Todd and I were kind of both giving each other shouts because we were traveling, but last week's show had the highest viewer on all platforms combined, so that was cool. And on our platforms, and because I was asking him how his did, but I know we had a really good week.
Well, Todd's was entertaining, and
so
yeah, I'm still dying about. I'm still dying about.
No, don't let. We're not going to bring that up
No,
because next thing
it's funny. I know.
Anyway, so until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
And we'll see you next time
On the One Team We Agree On.